Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am here with the wonderful Susan Wade from Viktoria, DeAnn, Cosmeceuticals. And we are here to not only discuss with Susan the amazing Viktoria, DeAnn, and the peptides and all of those science technology. She is a speaker at this year's Esthetician Summit 2023. So this little 30-minute interview is really going to get kind of a sneak peek as you guys speak to I'm speaking to Susan on behalf of all of you, but she is an absolute wealth of knowledge. And I have been a peptide believer and a Viktoria DeAnn believer going on 5 years now. So, Susan,
Yes.
Go ahead and take it away. Tell the children how you are an esthetician and how you got into this and how it is taking you on this peptide journey.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of a long story, and I would like to share that at some point. But I tell you, when I went into this esthetician realm, I was looking for something that I could do because I've had the kinesiology background. I had my own business in sports athletic training, went into this thinking, you know what? I'm going to work with doctors. I want to work with physical therapists, but now I want to start doing something with the skin. When I was at a Face and Body or one of the shows, and I was just searching for a company, please show me something, tell me something. Because Stephanie, I was the person that was the non-believer when it came to products. You could not sell me any products when I would go in. Yeah, wow. I know. And so I had to get really educated on, what they did. So when I sat through Mark's presentation, it was eye-opening. I looked around the room and I was like, what he's talking, I know protein.
Of course.
I know the muscles.
Of course.
I know the cells.
Yeah.
This is amazing. And when he was talking about ATP, I watched people leave and they're like, forget that, yeah. And I just got closer and closer and closer. And it was just like this, the whole presentation, like, what? I didn't know about peptides. I didn't know that peptides did what they did. So I, was searching to work for a company that I could maybe be their educator or just really dive into the science. And that presentation was an hour and a half. And I was just like, this is it. You're speaking my language. I've never heard this before. You said some verbiage that okay. So I left the class early, and I kind of joke about it now because I tell people, if you leave early, you better be going to the booth. But I just went up to Chuck and I just said, I love what your company stands for and what I just heard. I want to know more, and I'm going to work for you. And he's like, whoa, he started laughing, And I said, no, really, I have a background that I think would fit. And the science is something that is just fascinating to me. So fast forward, that happened, fast forward. And then we're like, okay, we need an education program. So since I had the education background, I had higher education. I worked in higher education for 20 plus years, teaching college courses, working in college admissions, recruiting students, writing curriculum. I knew how to do all that. And Dean Viktoria would pass on his presentations, and it'd be like reading a dissertation. It's like, okay, this is great. But how do I convey this to people that can use it?
Yeah.
Because that's what I saw in the industry is during my education, I thought, wait, we're talking about a lot of things here. And I want to focus on the function of the skin. How are we connecting? How are we getting results? Why are we not focusing more on that? And that's been from day one where I wanted to take this company and really what I wanted to do to help estheticians, because I tell estheticians all the time, look, everyone wants your job. You have a great job.
We do.
you get to play, you
Yep.
get to be beautiful, people look up to you. So people are slowly taking your piece away. Okay. So you have doctors coming in, you
Yeah.
have chiropractors coming
Yeah.
in, you have um, you name it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's protecting you? Okay, let's turn this around. So my mission has always been, look, no one knows the skin better than you.
True.
This is where you live.
True.
So let's dive in. I want you to know everything about the skin. But you know, Stephanie, what's missing is the connection of the skin to the other parts of the body and the cells and how it works together.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I've done over the last 7+ years, is just really trying to connect as I protect the estheticians and say, look, you are so smart, you can correct the skin condition, but we have to figure out why it's happening. So now let's talk about peptides.
So let
And
me go to my first question, because I think this is going to really get people, because when you say peptides, people's eyes glaze over.
yeah,
Why is that? What do
yeah,
you think that the word peptides,
yeah,
why is it so intimidating to estheticians? Why?
yeah, because it's an unknown. It's like, what? Wait a second. Okay, I think I know that. And it's kind of like, all of a sudden that gluten came to the surface. We're all like, yeah, I think I know. Wait, am I gluten-free? Does that help me lose weight? Yes, I'm gluten-free. And so we use that and we marketed it. Same thing with peptides.
Got it.
So because we really don't know what it is, and there's a lot of different peptides out there
Yes.
with lots of syllables that no one can pronounce.
Yes.
And so let's break it down and break it apart. And what does that mean? It means a protein.
Right.
So peptides are pieces of protein, and they all do something, and there's thousands of them. And basically it's going on in your body constantly. As soon as you eat, the protein is broken down and then the peptides are formed. And so really what Dean and Mark have done is copied what the body's doing.
Wow.
Yeah. So to answer your question, peptides are intimidating because there's so much out there in terms of marketing, but
Got
really
it.
no education on what they
I
are.
agree. Yes.
Okay. And so during the presentation, I love talking about how peptides all do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that mean? Well, okay, let's back up and let's go back to, well, why do we need them? Because the basis is all of our cells are constantly interacting and communicating.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look at it as like your air traffic controller. All the airplanes in the sky are constantly talking, constantly to the tower. The tower's talking to others. And so I look at that as kind of how peptides are. Peptides are basically telling the cells, okay, let's produce some collagen. Yay, let's do that. Or, hey, we're going to help you produce more energy. Why do I need more energy? Because cells divide and you get younger cells. If your cells don't have energy, then we don't produce younger cells. We age. So it's really fun to talk about how the cells communicate, but the peptides are part of that communication that's needed so they can thrive.
So when we look at peptides, Viktoria DeAnn has won numerous awards
Yeah.
for their peptides. And of all the awards that they've been winning, you still have majority of the aesthetics world still leery and confused and not willing to step into that knowledge the way you did when you took your class when you met Viktoria DeAnn. But I love it because, and I say this all the time, I'm no longer on inhibitors, which is a huge thing for people that suffer with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
to explain that, and when I tell estheticians that I'm not on an inhibitor, they glaze over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do know what that means, right? And they're like, no. I'm like, this is not makeup. This is me. I don't have any makeup
Yeah.
on. I used to have dark post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and I have been on the peptide train ever since. Now, I'm going to segue with the peptides and modalities. What are you seeing with peptides, and what is the best modality that you've seen that has the best before and after? Is it microcurrent? Is it micro, what's the pins? Is it LED? Is it
Yeah.
what is it that you're seeing?
We see so much of the microcurrent,
Yes.
mainly because, again, there's an energy component in peptides, so that your cells are like, oh, yay, we get to do what we're supposed to do. And LED and microcurrent do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're providing that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that works extremely well. We see very good results with the microneedling. We see great results with radiofrequency microneedling, because we're trying to instill that collagen, elastin, production, and the peptides working in synergy with that. Phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys have on all over your social media, you guys have the amazing befores and afters of your eye serum. We did in our esthetician box back in 20, we had a contest, and there was amazing befores and afters with that. There's a lot of people, I shouldn't say people, there's a lot of estheticians who are always looking for that magic eye product. Why is Viktoria DeAnn's peptide technology changing the eye so drastically with just one product and no modalities? Why is that?
That's a good question. Because it's bioactive, because it nurtures. Bioactive means that we don't mess around. We go straight towards, how do I want to say? We go straight towards edifying or nurturing the cells. So when this based upon, everything that you've gone through, and just knowing the function of the skin.
Yes.
We continue to put things on top, on top, on top. Oh, that feels great. Wake up the next morning, hasn't changed anything.
Right.
Oh, but it feels really good and it smells really good.
Right.
We want to be that company, and we want to have that product where you see results. So there's a combination of peptides in the eye serum, nurtured with B vitamins, which is your niacinamide, and has a little bit of caffeine. Caffeine, wake up, but it's more for the antioxidants. So really, with all of our peptides, Stephanie, we sequence the amino acids to form the peptides in our own lab. We surround it with nurturing vitamins. The B vitamins are essential for any type of health. You have to have B vitamins. And then we also have C and E and, everything else, because we want to nurture the environment of the cell so it will thrive and do what it's supposed to do.
So when you have and I'm going to go to it because I love it and I love having this conversation, the resurfacer or no, what is it?
Rejuvenator.
Resurfacer. Rejuvenator.
Yeah.
That technology is so new and so misunderstood, but so super effective.
Yes.
So I always call it the highway. Like my resurfacer is the highway. It is what gets those peptides there, and they're not stuck in upper epidermal layers. They're not stuck in anything.
Right.
They're going straight there. And the thing is, what we're taught, estheticians are taught typically, in order for you to have any kind of correction, any kind of cell correction, hyperpigmentation, anything that's a skin condition, to correct it, you got to peel. You got to over exfoliate, right?
Yeah.
And that, in my opinion, and what I've learned from you all, is that the exfoliation process is against nourishing the cells. It is not giving the cells what it needs, right?
Right.
So when you are damaging to that level, right? And we're causing free radical damage, we're causing premature aging, we're causing all of these things. Why do you think that the peptide technology that you guys are utilizing and educating on is so needed, but there's still that gap between why do we need it? Because here's the thing, we are always like, oh no, I can't add a product in from Viktoria DeAnn because I have my brand.
Mm,
My brand says that you got to do boo, 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 boo.
mm,
Your philosophy and the way you educate is everyone needs a peptide.
right.
So if everybody needs a peptide, and we're talking to estheticians right now, you're going to be talking to them in person when you see them. What is it that you are seeing the trend move to, because we are so damaging to the skin?
Mm. You have great questions. And I could go on forever. I wish we had more time, because this is something that you just hit my, heart button, because everyone is struggling with aging. Everyone's struggling with whatever condition they have, but it has to go deeper. It has to go to the function of the cells, the organs, the tissue as a whole. Because sometimes we treat the skin like, oh, it's a mask. We'll just put it over here, and I'm going to punch it, and I'm going to put holes in it, and I'm going to burn it, and then I'm going to do all these things, and then put it back on, and then wait, that didn't do anything. Now I'm talking from experience, okay? Right? I mean, before becoming an esthetician, I didn't care anything about my skin. I was a long distance runner. I was like, what's the next race? I did all this stuff outdoors. So I come in and there's a lot of damage, still working on it. It takes time. That's the thing that I'm trying to get across to these estheticians, is anything that's instant and the skin, when you put those two words together, that's an oxymoron. Anything that's instant and the skin is not. You're causing inflammation. So if we can go around and say, look, peptides are natural to the body. They're natural to the cells. And in order for you to have great performing skin, it has to function. And so if we have the skin functioning correctly, then we're going to work on the hyperpigmentation, because we're going to know what's causing that. We're going to work on the excess sagging, what's causing that. And so it's connecting all the dots, instead of putting the skin off to the side and saying, I'm going to burn it, I'm going to peel it, I'm going to do all these things, and hopefully I'll get better skin.
Whoa.
I know. And from day one, that's been my passion, because I saw it. And
well, did you do it too? I mean, we all did it. I would say
yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I've had every peel under the sun.
Yes.
Hell, I've done microdermabrasion. I've done dermaplane.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Oh
had
yeah.
all of this
Yeah.
stuff done, and I've done it without the understanding of what I was doing on a cellular level.
Right.
But when I was introduced to you and introduced to Viktoria DeAnn, and I started understanding that at some point my skin is going to say enough.
Absolutely.
And
That
then once it's
happened.
enough, there's nothing else to really do, because the damage can only go so far. So when I think it was obviously it was the HP. That is my staple. I will always have that no matter what. I will always stay with that. But I did not understand the synergy or the connection that all of the peptides that you guys have is so much more powerful together than not. And I didn't get that until I think it was the product box. You and I did our interview, and you were talking about, because I didn't really like the Rejuvenator. That wasn't a favorite of mine. And I
Yeah.
didn't understand the technology, but I
Yeah.
didn't understand that even though I don't show signs of aging, I still need collagen stimulation. I
That's
didn't
right.
understand that the only alpha hydroxy you guys are using in your peptides is lactic. Like, I didn't understand it until you really started breaking down that once those cells are damaged and we get into repairing them,
Mhm.
the repair can't be the same way we damaged them.
That's right. That's right. And going through school, I think I did microdermabrasion 2 to 3 times a week,
Oh my,
because
oh my
I
gosh.
know, Yeah, because not only did someone need to practice, I thought, well, then we can get rid of some of these things here. Whoa, yes. And you know what I noticed, Stephanie, in 5 months, it was just really thin skin. And I'm like, wait, this is getting worse. What now what?
3 times a week?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was always we didn't do peels, but I was always, oh yeah, I'll be your model. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's proof in the pudding. And what you just said is that, yeah, we keep doing all these things thinking that we have to take away. And I equate that to the same thing. Okay, wait a second. So if we say that our skin is an organ, we don't do those things to our liver.
Mm-mm.
We don't punch it. We don't burn it. We don't, do peels on it to heal it. Okay. Do we do that to our pancreas? I mean, come on. So we have to connect it. We have to put it together in a function. And this way, when students learn that, okay, wait, skin doesn't work that way, then they don't go out and go, wait, I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that. No, learn the function of the skin and refurbish, replace, rejuvenate. That's why I love the Rejuvenator, because it's a gentle way to rebuild your skin.
When you told me there was no alpha or beta hydroxy in Rejuvenator, I was floored. The way it tingles, it feels like it's an alpha or beta.
And you know what the tingling is, right?
I do. Tell the masses though.
So remember, the tingling sensation is a B3 vitamin. That's it, niacinamide. Well, why does it do that? Well, if you study science, you know that niacinamide is needed in the ATP for energy production.
In the Krebs cycle, yes.
In the Krebs cycle, okay? A lot of people don't want me to talk about that, but I'm like, you have to know that.
You do.
You have to know, because if your client goes, oh, there's chemicals in that, you can say, no, there's no chemicals. In fact, you educate them and say, did you know that if you don't have B3 vitamins in your body, that your cells have no energy? Let's forget about the face for a second. Let's just talk about the rest of the body. And they're like, oh, it's a B3 vitamin. Okay. It's needed for energy. It's so fun. It's so fun to really understand the body, the nutrients, how there's such a connection. I talk a lot about stress, and I talk a lot about collagen production. And well, everyone's trying to get that, new face look, but they're stressed out. So now we're not eating correctly. Our cortisol is way too high. Our melatonin is off. We don't get any sleep. Tell me if you look really good when you don't have any sleep.
Never.
People are saying, you look tired. It's another way of saying you look really bad today.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So everyone wants to have healthy skin. No one wants to have lots of makeup. Everyone wants to have healthy skin. And that's what we do with Viktoria DeAnn. We work on I'm stumbling. We work on nutrition for the cells so they can flourish and thrive, so you can get that healthy skin.
And I love that you guys have such an authentic before and after. Like, that is one thing that I don't think many estheticians understand, is that you have unfiltered befores and afters.
Yeah.
Which is very different, especially in our industry. We are full of filters. We are the filter folks, capital, whatever.
Yeah.
But your befores and afters in skin conditions that are so prevalent, like the melasmas, the hyperpigmentation, which is me, the dark eye circles when you have, it's so prevalent and so beautiful to see, but it's so simple that we almost don't believe it. We don't believe that
Oh,
peptides can do this.
that's
We don't
right.
believe that it can do this result because this is what it was created to do, right? So then when you go and and I had known you've been all over the shows, you've been all over the US training people, and you've had all these courses and classes. And, I'm a big peptide believer. I've been a big peptide believer for a long time now, especially just proof in the pudding, right?
Right.
When I am talking to people about peptides and everything that you guys offer, after the glaze comes, and then I
Mhm.
get them past that glaze, and then I explain to them, and you know what, the thing that I go back to them and look at them, I said, okay, so ignore what I just said. Look at my forehead. And they're like, what am I looking at? Is my forehead clear? Do I have any wrinkles? Do I have any 11 lines? Do I have any of
Mhm.
those?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, all of that is peptides and microcurrent. That's all I do. There's no injections here. There's no fillers. There's no nothing. It's all peptides, 100% peptides.
I love
I,
that.
I am so excited, one, that you guys are coming and that you are able to educate in this way. But I'm really even more excited for you, Susan, because you speak, and I've heard Mark speak, and Mark, even for me, you know, he's
Yeah.
technical. Like
Yeah.
he's there. He's the
He's a
scientific guy.
biochemist, you know?
And I've always been like, wait, what? Rewind? But you bring such a level of understanding and you connect so many real life things. And really, one, you're an esthetician. So you kind of do understand how we think. You understand the way we have been trained, what we were put through beauty school to do. Like,
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
went through it.
Yeah.
But to unlearn what you've learned to move the way you're moving and the results that you're seeing, how easy is it for someone who's watching this video who says, I do want to get amazing befores and afters, and I want to understand peptide technology? Like, how easy is that for an esthetician who has no idea that this kind of technology was even available?
Yeah, if I understand your question correctly, how easy is it for them to understand Victoria DeAnn? So
Mm-hmm.
we have a plethora of information free online. We have certified, yes, and it goes deep. Some of it Mark wrote, and it's just like, okay, let's change. Okay. And then, but you have to understand that, there's always a connection that's happening in everyone's lives. I believe that you're always where you're supposed to be. We just don't know it. Okay. So the connecting for me was, I was the great skeptic, but yet I understood, because of my background in nutrition and kinesiology and understanding muscles and how that works, and understanding just, everything, that's what I want everyone to learn. I was the person in the class that never asked questions. I was too shy. I actually tried to convince, during my master's program, I asked my professor if there's any way that I did not have to give that presentation in front of
Ooh,
anyone. And look at me now. That's all I do is make presentations. So is
right,
it funny?
right.
So to answer your question, there's tons of information free online. We also have the certified education, and then the sales reps, the job is just to really nurture and go, look, there's no dumb questions. Please ask. And
Wow.
I love that, especially because, again, I was that person in the class that I would not raise my hand. And so I know there's a lot of people out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people learn by watching. Some people learn by listening and taking notes. Some people, just have to, kinesiology, they have to get into it.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be intimidated by peptides. Just go, wow, that's an amazing thing. And if I learn it, I'm going to be so much different than everyone else out there.
Yes.
Because a lot of times they're doing the same thing.
Yes.
And I ask them, why would you do that? Because the person next to you is doing it next door. Why are you doing that? Why don't you do something different?
Absolutely.
And so learn the skin, learn how to fix things based upon going to the root. And another thing too, Stephanie, I could do just a class on our correct HP. There's
Ah,
so much,
ah.
because I don't blame hyperpigmentation on the sun.
Oh, mine's not
Yeah,
sun, not at all.
no, I
Mm-mm,
blame it, but most people do. I blame it on lipofusion. I
mhm.
blame it on toxins in the
Yeah,
body. I blame it on the liver. But
yeah,
well, the peptide takes care of all that.
right.
So it's really fascinating that you can have that technology. So I guess what I'm trying to say too is we support you. We understand that there is that little bit of a gap. We want to close that gap because they're very simple to use,
Oh, yeah.
and every person that you see should have their own special protocol because
Yes.
everyone's skin is different.
And the thing I love about you guys too is that you go with any brand.
Any
You
brand.
can plug into any product line on the
Yeah,
market in the world.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't say that with every brand.
yeah. It's true. That's
You
true.
know, you guys plug in right away. I mean, I love your peptides. There's no scent in I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I can't say enough, but I am excited for everyone that's coming to hear exactly the way you break it down. And the thing is, I'm a big diagrams, and I like to see the process of where it's going through the skin. Okay, it's on
Yep.
the outside, now it's on the inside, and this is
Yes.
20 days later, and this is 48 days later. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
love those types of education. But
Yep.
we're at 30 minutes. So guys, you
Oh,
guys have
wow.
we
That
have
went by
had, and
fast.
Susan and I can talk forever about
Yeah.
peptides and skincare. We both have kinesiology degrees, so we speak the very same language. We were taught
Yep.
the same way. So those of you guys who are coming to Summit, you're in for an amazing treat. Those of you who are still on the fence deciding whether or not you want to come, I always encourage you to come. They will have products available for you to try. You can listen to what I said, smell it and touch it and play with it yourself so that you can kind of understand why it's so exciting. I would love all of you to try the Rejuvenator because there is no acids in it, but it tingles. It tangles. And I love it because I know that it's working in the skin. So thanks, Susan, so much for this interview and speaking
Been
to
an honor.
everyone.
Thank
Absolutely. We
you.
will see you at the Esthetician Summit in April. And I'm excited for everyone to come and be introduced to Viktoria DeAnn.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.